Recording has started now. I believe, welcome everyone who's watching. I'm going to be looking at odds with Grant and Lyle from scrim that we had with Riptide. So in our scrim, we had Trenton, us three, and then Emily as well. Yep. Emily, so that makes five. That was us, and then we had Team Riptide on the other side. Our team lost the scrim by maps, but it was generally pretty close, especially around the enemy team. Riptide was using a lot of Doomfist comps. We struggled to find a counter comp until around Esperanza. However, we still lost that map. And actually, I think Esperanza might be a good one to start with. So, I've never done a VOD review where the intention was for it to be useful in some way, not only for our players but for the opponents. This will be interesting. I think I'm going to start with a sort of play-by-play. I want to analyze what happened, and I want to see if there's a through line and a logic and a story to like how on like the macro sense what's going on in these maps. We can look at 1v1s and duels that people have, and we can think about cooldown usage. I think that's generally going to be widely applicable. We can try to vary and pick different players. But of course we can prioritize the people who are in the call. Other than that, before we start, the two that are here, Lyle and Grant, do you guys have any thoughts or concerns about the scrim when we had it? Things you wanted to say or things you're looking for in these VOD reviews that you want us to try and pay extra attention to? Let me know of that.
My Tracer is so bad in these scripts.
You've been
I've
grinding
learned a
Tracer
lot.
since.
I've been grinding Tracer. I got my recalls forced too much. I was too predictable. Too scared to take duels because enemies were good. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna feed.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm aware of these issues.
I am certainly in a Tracer mood. We can definitely pay attention not only to your Tracer but the opponent's Tracer. Pressure in that regard. I also
I,
Yeah, they were. I was just. My thing is trying to live into that comp is hell. So I'm just like, oh,
like
I
as
could
a
do that
support
better
player.
because, yeah, because I definitely felt the pressure of them just diving me all the time. And I was like, bruh,
Why
give
is
me a
the
break.
oh, am I in a game? Oh, I am. I'm already in these. Okay.
Nice.
Um,
Ready for battle.
oh, actually, wait, hold on. I need to learn to use this. There's a bookmark. This is when round starts.
Objective
So we'll take it slow.
in 30 seconds.
So on rollout, we've got Junker Queen with double flanker, Stomber Tracer, a Baptiste for the backline. The Baptiste I think is really strange. Just on initial reaction. And then for our comp, we had very Lucio, very meta in that regard. Orisa, which I think we were expecting Doomfist. Or with the Orisa. I like that, and that's why I was also on Cass. And then Lyle, you picked like May at this point.
yeah, trying
Um,
to wall off their JQ.
yes, okay. You were running a lot of Tracer over this scrim, especially towards the end. I think we were getting a little.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
uh,
I started off May on our first map as well, and it went pretty well.
so gut.
Um,
Yeah, okay. Sure. So gut reaction for me, just like uh, from my experience, uh, Queen probably will struggle versus Orisa, in general, and I think the Orisa is a nice pick for comp the have. Um, I think if they had a Doomfist, the May would be a little more like suspicious, but
mhm.
because they have the Queen, especially a tank with like low mobility, the wall's probably going to be. As for the flankers, we have really good flanker control with Kiriko, Lucio, and Cass, and like, hello. Uh, okay, let's see how it rolls out. Flankers set up on left side. We've got high ground bridge here. Tracer immediately pushes left flank, and I heard her and hit the punish there. So for the Tracer player, let's look and see, because dying first like this, obviously. So you jump here. That's the first sound. You jump again. That's another sound. You jump again. Well, that time. Okay. So for those who don't know, jumping makes extra sound. Like when you're flanking like this, your blinks will make sound, jumps will make sound, and walking will also make sound, but it's not as loud. And then crouching is even quieter. But like from my perspective, I heard it's one of those things where I already kind of think about an early flank on left side, just because it's something that players will do. There it is. I don't know if you guys heard it. There's a little shuffle of the feet. That little sound effect. That was your downfall here. And just in general, if I was the Tracer player, if you want to take a flank like this, it's not bad to hold this. But I would ask you, I think you should ask your like front line to like scout what's going on. And if like there's a bunch of players playing tight on this corner, you really shouldn't push this. Like, you're just gonna probably get forced, because the problem is that you're pushing like blindly around a corner where you don't really know what the comp is yet. And so because you don't know what the comp is yet, I sort of took advantage of that by just taking a super early thing here. And honestly, I just kind of rolled the dice and happened to get good punish on it. So try to, like, if you're going to push this aggressively, like I said, have the scouting, because your queen might realize like, hey, Cass is pushing like right side, she should see me disappear. And especially if we're like hyper aware of this that we're going, because we know this is aggro. That's one thing. Another thing is like hold like a corner back, and so that you can sort of, you can peek the corner like this on this doorway farther away, rather than trying to like get this super close. Just a careful punish play that might happen. I know you're not expecting that, but now you know. So let's see if we convert the kill from here. Some are still right side. We end up getting a lot of space off that. Yep, Via's back up and shout. Now we get bridge. Really strong. Oh. Queen's looking to take top. Tracer should be coming back. Same flank, same punish, question mark? What was his perspective here? So, okay. Use your translocator. About 3 seconds. You uncloak. Okay. So, it looks like I expected that flank. Let's see why. Why I expected. So I walk up on this. Oh, okay. I see that translocator. That's where it starts. So from my perspective, I saw this landing here. So you could go basically one of two places. Other than, you can like walk this way and come to your team and sort of like hold under and maybe go for some value here, because there's no LOS in my team. That's what I was thinking. That's one place I expected you to be. The second is obviously eventually you could come over here. That wasn't my first thought. So I actually thought you would go under, which is why I dropped like that, to see if I could just fling you out before your team walked up. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm actually surprised she didn't go there. So my next thought was this left flank again, because you guys actually switched off Tracer to on-run. Okay, but it's still double flanker, and so I'm still worried about map space. And if I don't know where the Tracer is, this is my instincts from like playing D.Va. Is in between fights like this is something I do as a player a lot, is just clear flanks. Just the same play. I was expecting this play because there was only so many places you. Maybe the other option is you could have stayed here and just waited for your translocator to come back, and then you could like TP up when your queen's. And honestly, that's probably the play that I'd be least able to punish if done correctly. But yeah, so, I caught on the flank again. Queen's walking up. see how we punish. So Ice Block comes out. We're actually not. We're not really successfully. Oh, Bap dies. Okay. That probably didn't have to. So it's hard to. We can't really talk macro yet because we're just getting caught on flanks so far. Anything you guys would like to add to what we've seen?
Yeah, I don't have much to say right now.
Crazy. There's really not been like any macro teams other than like maybe how you guys handle Riptide handles like cleanup fight could be made better. Okay. Maybe a real fight will happen here. Onron's looking left flank. Ooh, I liked what that Onron did here. You're standing up here. I actually really like this dash you do. You aim it slightly upwards, which means that if I'm watching this angle, I actually don't see that. I don't see you going over, so respect to that. Let's see, we're going for the third flank in the doorway. Let's see, how does it go this time? I just used flash. So. Oh, but also it's like Riptide switch Doomfist. Okay, so Doomfist is dead. While I was complimenting the flank, the Doomfist engages and dies. Let's see what happens here. Our flank is being set up right side. We've got 3 sitting left here. Looks like they might be able to take a little bit of an angle left side, but going to be taking some poke pressure back. Sure. With the Baptiste there, Soj can definitely peek. I see the Doomfist. He gets poked out. Goes for a punch. Oh, looks like you flubbed the input for the light. Maybe you were looking to go on the. Go here on point. And then you're half HP slamming in. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, not really. I wish you were here so that I could ask you what your thought process was on this engage. But getting poked out super early, understandably very difficult to deal with. And then after you sort of flub up the first cooldown, you kind of already need the second cooldown to get out. I think accepting when maybe you just have to give a couple seconds because you wasted like a punch, didn't really get value. The Mei dropping off high ground, like think about it this way. So what we ended up doing on our counter to what you're doing. So maybe you punch in, right, and you try to like maybe the thought process is you like punch cancel and don't like drop. So maybe you'll probably land around here. Maybe the idea is that you're trying to LOS the people high ground and go for a punish on the Lucio, even if you like forced to like half HP. But it is very dangerous to do this because you have to deal with me actively peeking you and poking you on this angle because you've already peeked, I believe. Yes, you've peeked here. We know you're there. You're even shooting, right? I'm expecting you on this angle now. I'm expecting you from the angle you're engaging. You didn't like peek and immediately have a plan. You didn't let someone else scout. So as you're coming in, you're starting to take damage here, like body shot, and so you mess up that punch, and then our Mei actually immediately makes the decision that's interesting here to drop high ground, which, generally speaking, is a somewhat risky spot to be. She's Mei, obviously, so she can wall and use Ice Block, so she can sustain falling down here more than other characters. Like, for example, this angle that's main, you have the ability, if they walk up, now that the Mei is on low ground, to wall them off, basically, while we deal with the Doomfist. So, realistically, as this... So yeah, what did you say, Lyle?
I dropped cart specifically because Grant was like, "Can we get our Mei on?"
Oh yeah, okay, interesting. So the decision wasn't because the Doomfist dropped, but I do think it is very interesting to do that. I think it's a very good punish play, honestly, because
Fortuitous.
yeah, Yeah, for sure. Because you can immediately hit the slow if he doesn't react to this, which is going to make his entire engage just worse, for sure. So like you've already slowed it, you made his slam slightly weirder. It slams on top, which actually I don't know if that would have hit us at all. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it does, but it might hit us. And either way, we Suzu it, which is actually, yeah. I mean, this is good for us, obviously, because you're already in. Don't have ultimate. This play, I know it's if you're watching this video, this is probably really hard to watch for you, because you're like, oh my gosh, of course it's not a good thing. But it's always important to point out. I miss my flashbang, but we're already on this low ground. There's no safety, no retreat. You used your punch, used your slam. It didn't even block really. And while this is happening, I think it's really important to realize that like the Onron was, in terms of timing, like a corner or two too far away. So you were engaging too early for your Onron to like, do anything. Because maybe this play with like going on point with the Mei, right? Maybe this is fine if the moment that you go for like this punch right here, if your Onron was like right here instead, then the moment you're engaging, me up here and Grant over up here, and even to some degree our Orisa, have to make a decision between the Onron and the Doomfist. I think we're still an advantage in that regard, but it allows you guys a little bit of flexibility to maybe get something out of it, right? Even though the play is bad, if you guys do the bad play together, timed correctly, like where you're both doing the bad play together, there's still a chance that someone can get a value, because like if we're both looking at the Doomfist who punches first, maybe the Onron can hit and ignite, and then maybe when you slam like the target, maybe you do an extra 20, 50, 100 damage, and maybe you randomly squeak out a kill while attention is but of course our Orisa's here, she has spear, so like technically as you slammed up here you also should cut in spear, but it's just a really difficult play to make. Oh, and then yeah, there's no safety there. Grant uses Suzu. Okay, so that being said, afterwards, finally the Onron engage comes, and Grant is a little too late. I'm curious to see how.
I think you shouldn't have dropped. Is my. There's no need for you to drop there. Even if he's low, you still have. He's cut off from his supports, and he's also like you don't need that kill if you don't. You'd be fine without. I think dropping there is bad as cast, because once you drop, you're committed to being cart, right?
But like the tank is dead.
Yeah, but we also have Mei and our Orisa down there. I don't think you need to be there. That's what I'm saying. I think
mean-
getting cast off high ground is very bad.
Okay, maybe I don't need to, but there's definitely a line where like we just win the entire fight, even though I made this. And I don't like the fact they don't have a tank, like still have basically every other cooldown other than two. Like maybe I could have stayed up here, but what if you dropped with me? I mean, I think in this scenario,
I mean
it's
that
not,
can happen, but I didn't. I didn't know you were gonna drop. It's not normal that I'm gonna sit down there because it is such a like awful place for me to be.
yeah, I mean, you can wall climb,
I
so you
didn't.
can
I didn't
just.
know you were gonna drop.
If anything, I feel like you could be more willing to drop there than me, because you can teleport back up. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of splitting hairs because like maybe I could have stayed here, but also this duel with the Onron happens and you don't have Suzu. You get ignited here. Honestly, I think the moment the Onron appears is probably the time that you should be teleporting if she's like dashing in, right? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I see her, I don't want to take that duel. Even if I get poked, it's not worth. Like, I can try to fight it, but what are my options for teleporting?
For
Because that's
teleporting
also
away?
like a huge.
I think our Orisa
Yeah.
probably could have stayed high ground earlier. Well, or maybe she should be playing right here to just like, now that the tank is dead, like back up. Honestly, You can teleport under because I am technically safe from here. We do give we give up the bridge to Unrun temporarily, but Lucio, Cass, you can all easily, especially because they don't have a tank. We can take our time. Like even though you get forced out and they give the position, they still can't win the fight. Let's see. So it's fine. You don't die, but that is really scary. It's scary now because you don't cleanse the burn on TP anymore. Works.
Mm-hmm.
And technically they still have a little bit of poke damage, and Soj might have built rail by this point. In fact, I die here. What am I doing? I'm fine. I do get pinned. Honestly, I do think Darwin should be holding this down. The moment the Doom died, like, these guys are very slow and squishy. Like, you don't have to kill them, but generally speaking, holding down this doorway is pretty guaranteed once you have advantage. It's very hard for either side to put, like, being held actively. That's how you should think about this room. And so, given that we know most of their angles are over here, I think our tank should be this, because now, like, I'm pinned down main because this right side is not ended with, and so now this on-run is getting even scarier. Just like randomly might get a pick. Thankfully nothing happens, but like Brandis teleports into the LOS of these guys, and like even the BAP up top here, definitely 2 people could have died here just randomly if like things were different. So it doesn't matter, but it's something to keep in mind in terms of like cleaning up the fight, right? But yeah, maybe all of that is better if I just don't drop high ground, but I wanted to confirm that the Doom died, and I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think he did. This fight, I made the call to hold high grounds because we had lead. So I was basically guaranteeing. Hello.
What it do?
Hello.
Oh, welcome. I'm
That's
just
great. Being helpful.
one at a time on the VOD review. This is recorded, by the way. Just want to. So yeah, I decided to hold this archway because I feel like this high ground is really OP, and the enemy team has what, flanker tank or like dive tank and flanker and Sojourn Bat basically poke angle. I didn't see a reason to try and like force this out this way because I knew you guys would like get this position. This is just really hard to break. So like our only real options are to push a very select map. Like maybe if we take like a huge flank this side, but taking big flanks versus Doomfist is generally bad because the split target can get sort of rushed down. So I wanted to play for the high ground. I wanted to play for the powerful position. I think on this point specifically, because we have the lead, it sort of forces you guys to make it. So Onron decides to take top left high ground, is what it looks like. 4 people still sitting main. The Lucio's a little late to this push. I sort of harass the left side. I don't go for the same flashbang play, but I do go for a little bit of an early. Doom punches in, about half HP. Suzu comes out. Wow, double ult on that guy. Let's see, how did that engage happen from? It was a slam in to punch, right? So we bait the high ground of a large open space. Because of that large open space. Okay. We punch in, slam in. So they go for this because I went for the early play. I bet they made the call that they were peeking early and that they're close on bridge. So even though that was the case, Brent and I both basically booked it to the back of bridge once this happened, because the moment we establish someone's like threatening the bridge, sort of establish this angle, and it's really hard for them to push out of that. We have cover, plus our team off from like this angle. This angle makes it really hard for them to push. Doom goes in super early, uses I think literally every ability. Yeah. So we slam in, slam punch. And so at this point, as the cast, I'm like, okay, this guy definitely just used slam and punch to get in, and doesn't have ultimate because he died super early last fight and switched from the fight before. he doesn't have ultimate. Flashbang comes out, and I just decide to ult straight up. Honestly, Grant and I both had the same idea here, and we probably only needed one of them. But honestly, Grant, what is the scenario that we're looking at here? Like, how should we know who's gonna ult here versus the other? It's the Doom engage, and it's kind of a punish, right? Like we're kind of ulting the punish here. I think that's both of
who's
our
behind
ideas,
him?
right? Onrun, I think back here. Yeah. You see the Onrun and the Lucio coming in. So it's like the
I
engage
think
is
my
happening.
ult is the. I think my ult's the move. Only because yours can get canceled pretty easily in this lane, and if we secure this, they either have to back or they lose the fight because we're up, right? Like we have. They cannot fight for this lane if the Kitsune's on this, and Noon's not gonna clear them as much as we want, right?
You
This
think
is such a
so?
crucial.
Why not? Why
Yes.
not specifically? Why specifically is it not?
So
I will
So-
be right back, guys. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Noon doesn't guarantee that they're gonna die, right? Noon doesn't guarantee it. It has pressure, yes, but I feel like in this scenario, it's not. Does Doom have punch? No, right?
No, he has nothing other than block. They don't even have Suzu. The only thing that can save them, I think, is immortality. In this position, that's the only thing I think that can save my High Noon. And like, if I know that the BAP is still super far back, then that's not even a case. Oh, actually, let's see. Wait, he can throw the God ammo right here super early, and it'll bounce here. That's what he. Very, very hard.
Yeah.
And on top of
Maybe
that,
Noon.
if he walks
Noon
main
is-
and then immos, I might even be able to like turn on. Well, I think
Yeah, maybe Noon's the.
it's okay.
Noon is definitely the solution. It's hard. It's a hard call
It's-
because.
So like in my head, my thinking, the reason I ulted here, it was the Doom use slam and punch, and now he's blocking in my face at half HP. So I was like, okay, and I know the Onrun and the Lucio are wanting to push here, but my thought was the Doom is super isolated. He's half HP. These two are over here, right? They want to push, but now with the High Noon, they basically can't, right? And I have the potential to control this wide angle main on these two. And the Doom used his punch, which is the only stun. And I mean, I don't know. It just feels like everything is gone right here, basically. If they had Kiriko, maybe I could worry about Suzu and teleport. But my idea is that even if Doom for some reason randomly doesn't die here, the idea is that it's going to make enough space that he used both of his abilities. We're probably going to be able to chase wherever he goes, kill him because of the pressure. Because I can completely stop these guys from pushing if I need to, and I can stop these guys from pushing up while the Doom is in. So like I said, I think the ult is good, but we both saw the same punish is the problem, and so we would ideally we were too in sync in that regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do we stop being so in sync and having the same idea to the point where it forces us to double ult, right? And I think the Kitsune does the exact same thing, by the way. The Kitsune also wins the fight, right? Ideally, obviously, High Noon is the objectively worse ultimate on average. So if we can win it with High Noon, we should, but it's also not something you can just like guarantee.
Yeah, I think using Noon here is still better, just because even if you don't get it off, the pressure of them having to commit to you is enough threat that there's a higher chance that they're just gonna fall over. On top of Kitsune is better for the next fight, right? Like
Yeah.
Because if we win this, we're fighting. If we have to retake, we want Kitsune. If we have to fight another fight down the lane,
yeah,
where the bot is in front of that,
Kitsune is better for the more difficult fights. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good way to think about it, because this fight for sure is already like super like, just by how we took the fight, we should barely even have to use the High Noon. Like we probably just kill this guy even without it. But I guaranteed the win with the High Noon. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I agree with that. The fights where it's way more difficult, like if we have to push this angle, Kitsune is so much better here, right? Because if they take an angle this way, we can Kitsune one side and like outpush the angle. I like that thinking a lot. Um, so like the fights that we feel we have a really good defensive advantage, we can try to bank on things like High Noon. Because High Noon kind of adds to your defensive value like that because they overextend and then you punish open space. And this completely changes if we have Cat Noon. We're doing other things with that. Okay. Yeah, that's one way we can think about it differently. And so I guess so when we're doing the ult planning, we can talk about how we want to think about like our punish. Like how are we gonna punish an overextension? Right? In general, that's something we should be thinking about. And I think if we can bake our ult plans, we can sort of do this thing where we kind of did this naturally and through intuition, but if we were all on the same page that like, hey guys, I think we might be able to go for like a punish play on the Doom fight, we can think about it and conceptualize it that way, and that way everyone can be on. And that with the like ult planning, like, hey, let's use High Noon to like kite their initial and like bait their initial engage, force them out, and then go from there and see what chaos happens. Maybe we can Kitsune if they use a bunch of ults. Right, if they commit a bunch of ults, you can sort of use Kitsune to say, actually, I win in the mid fight, because we're not necessarily guaranteed to win off the High Noon alone, especially against like a tougher team, where then they're going to be using Window, they're going to be using Beat, they're going to be using Sojourn, On Run, all these ultimates that they're going to be getting online in the mid fight. Then we can think about Kitsune and Beat. Well, but that's at that point it's getting really. I do think in terms of from the enemy's perspective, with how they took this fight, I obviously don't agree with their hyper aggression. So we were talking about how we made the punish play, but I think to make it so that you guys don't get punished in this regard, this engage was really preemptive because of, as I talked about earlier, the overwhelming map space that we kind of been playing for. I think if you guys want to push this, you really need ultimate, right? So you guys only had Window. Oh, early. You guys had Window, yeah, pretty damn early. Honestly, it really does suck for you guys, but I think you guys should also like ult track that you guys have huge ult disadvantage. I don't think there's any universe that you guys make an offensive play like very quickly here. Tide.
Okay, so I think an offensive play is viable. I just think that when they walk back, they need to send their on run on the flank so she can be there when they engage, right? Like,
This one?
cause she's the only one that can, even if she goes right, she can dash up, but she wants to be able to get on Kiri
Yes.
on the engage because that's going to be the biggest threat to her team. And I think if they just allowed to let Cart push a little bit more and then let their support set up, they'll be in a much more advantageous position because
Yes.
Orisa is not going to be able to help.
Yes, and I can think of one place where the bat can set up. Like you can even window early up here, so that you can try to give the opportunity to make the space when you guys go for the engagement, like here. Now, when the push happens this way, we have to worry about that T-swing. So like, I wouldn't be able to High Noon from here. I'd have to High Noon from like.
Well, you'd
Or-
also have
or,
MO,
like,
so
here.
they can just, if they just rotated their BAP height
Yeah.
with the Doom,
But that's because honestly, we probably should have had our make or co-hold this. By the way, thinking out loud, because that way we could prevent that. But because we didn't, that is something you guys can think of. Like, if this room is open, even from here, like you have the option to actually, especially if you're going to make that offensive. And then your other option,
I mean,
is like
they need
not to
to-
not make an offensive play, but you can play slow to build your ultimates, right? You can get on run and Sojourn ult by poking potentially, and once you get those ultimates, then you can even go for like a window overclock, and then like beat one of like the High Noon or something.
I mean, the answer here is you need to make sure your backline's set up to do this because that's your win potential, right?
Right.
That's what's gonna make you win in this. So you just need Doom needs to play a little slower. Y'all have time because you're pushing cart, and like you'll gain so much progress If you just let it go a little bit more to get your backline set up and then engage, and you'll be much more advantageous because Orisa cannot peel. Orisa has to rotate way farther than we can ever keep up. So if you
Yeah.
just rotate your back high ground, you win that fight easily. But you need to make the call like, hey, I want to contest height,
Yeah.
and then make that.
Yeah, because we're on Orisa, the high grounds are a little sticky for us. We have to sort of commit one way or the other for sure. Yeah, so those are a couple of different things to think about. Make sure the backline is set up, and you do have the macro like play that you can make to play slow for ult, especially if you have like Sojourn who can, and you're like 70, and that's like a decent amount that you can hit. Okay, so we talked a lot about this fight. Let's get it up here. We know how that works. So now we end up pushing, taking space now. You guys use the inward. You guys use the window here down the Doomfist. Obviously a bit of a desperation play. Didn't have. Oh, died using shift. Yeah. No corner. No mortality. Very risky. We were also speeding on the flank immediately as this point happened. So, wait on that. Real quickly on that height. Be really careful of this door. Doomfist is in now. They're down BAP. Here's pulls back in. Versus the beat. Yeah, definitely a lot of panic now because you guys feel like you've never been able to sort of have a moment of advantage, and because of that, it feels bad. You feel like you want to force some kind of advantage, which is why you guys keep ulting. But the reality here is, guys, you have to recognize you are down, and we are using the half second before the last person on your team comes back to punish you guys for not kiting all the way. You really need to be disciplined on this because better and better teams than us are going to be like staggering you guys harder and harder than this, right? Okay. I do believe we actually lose this fight, or maybe it's the fight after. We're playing back, forcing point. We're not really forcing anything because we have lead. Doom is in at half HP. Gets stunned out of slam. You made the plan to slam out that slam out that time. It got flashed. We end up feeding your block, which is good for you. You're half HP. The male comes out.
Battle.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so embarrassed.
What was your punish your head specifically? What did you think was gonna happen? We'll watch it from your POV here. Well, this will do me.
God, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Okay. So you walled him out that way. Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
He got the left side here. So
Yeah.
Was it possible to? Yeah, it was a little possible. I think
Just a little bit more up.
yeah, if you're playing Mei like this, conceptualizing the moment you see like where the tank is, it's gonna be harder on Doomfist because he can come from a lot of different angles. But if you can conceptualizing where exactly he's coming from and thinking to yourself what is the best way for me to bait with the length of my wall, and you were very close here because this is a really good like it actually stops him from walking back completely, but you just barely missed this left angle, which is very hard to do. But if you were like mentally thinking, can I get a perfect Maywall choke, right?
Mhm.
End to end, there's like you can stop him from getting it away.
Yeah.
Slightly forward
the
like
moment-
this. Slightly forward
Yeah,
like
it's-
this.
It's hard in the moment, like, oh, I gotta wall this now. You know,
Yes.
like
So being a
him
little more
now.
mentally prepared when you have time in the
Yeah.
mid-fight or in the pre-fight, you might be able to think
Yeah.
to yourself like, okay, where can he come from? Where can we peek?
Mhm.
How can we stop his age with whether it be you can wall him early, so like if he tries to punch in, you could wall like this and then he drops. That's one thing you can do. You can do the other thing we said. We can even let him engage and then maybe sort of watch for the angle that he's actively retreating in, and then you can use the wall to like goes in like this. I stun the punch. Oh, the boop as well, actually.
Onto the terrible blizzard though. I
Yeah. So the wall was. I'm very micro picky here on the wall, but let's just because I'm like thinking. But yeah, onto the
I
blizzard.
tried to invade movement. They had all their movement pretty much to get out of it, so I just had to be more patient. I saw like green light go, they're all there, but I didn't aim it right, and they can just get out of it.
Yeah. Very interesting. Got booped out as well.
Yeah.
So the Lucio on the corner made this a sort of this Lucio on the corner makes this a safer spot for dude. Like the
Yeah.
uh
I get way too far back too.
we both get booped. Lucio definitely made. Yeah, maybe
I guess
lower.
in my mind, I expected them to like retreat back more, if that makes sense, like towards stairs.
Yeah. You thought that them coming towards us would make them vulnerable.
Yes.
Idea.
Yes. So I was trying to play off that aggression, and I thought they would retreat back.
Yeah, I will say that's partially what makes Mei really awkward in this comp is that it is very difficult to find value with the ult given a lot of the mobility that the comp has. It's hard to
Yeah.
just the only character that doesn't really have mobility is Baptiste, basically. And even he can just play like really far back. He can play high grounds, make it hard.
Yes.
But if because he has no mobility, it means that if he walks up too far forward, I think thinking of like let's imagine the scenario where these guys are over here, right? The Doomfist just punched out. He literally has nothing, and he's 200 HP. So the Lucio's here, and this is something I didn't even think properly. But I think this is a very productive moment for us, where the Lucio was on this corner we didn't really realize, which actually makes pushing this angle a lot worse. But like the Doomfist just used all his cooldowns. Does that mean we have to kill the Doomfist at that moment? Well, I made the decision to kill him over here because I felt like the rest of his team was too far away to do anything. That was why I made that. But in this scenario, I'm pushing the Doomfist, but here the situation is different. And actually, maybe I didn't think about the rest of his team. Admittedly, maybe they just happened to be far away, which is why the play was better. Let me put it that way. Because in this scenario, I wasn't thinking about it. We push the Doom here when honestly the Doom is out of the fight. Maybe we just shoot these guys main who are half HP. And honestly, the same thing that I said about the this is why I got to the thought process, because Baptiste is the punishable one, who it's harder for him to get out of, like, maybe if he has the perk, but I think it's like dash out. But Baptiste is the vulnerable one who wants to heal the people who are low in the moment that we're sort of forcing the tank out, right? So in this scenario, if we sort of think, well, what is main? Sojourn is half HP, and this Baptiste is not even looking at us. That's how terrified he is. He's like, oh my, I have to get out. We have to get out.
So you think Blizzard down where the Soj Bap are? Would that be better?
I think, yeah. I think,
okay.
Yeah, I think yeeting the Mei ult right here, like right here, that would have been the Ultra Instinct.
Okay.
That would have been the Ultra Instinct play.
I had a lot of nerves in this scrim.
No worry. I think this is a hard decision to come to, on how to use the ult, because conceptualizing that Bap is the weak one is pretty niche game understanding, I think, and it took me a second to think. I don't blame you at all. I think the idea that you had, I mean, for God's sake, I was pushing there too. I also had the same idea. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm pointing it out for both of us. Like, we were definitely calling to push this together, right? Like this was our decision. But the Lucio made a good play, and your bail was just a little too late because punch comes back very quickly. Yeah, he got both.
Yeah, right. Back. Yeah.
He used both of them. So realize that it's kind of like throwing a mailed at a wrecking ball. It's like, hey, probably just gonna get out every time. The only exception is like, okay, one, he doesn't have ult, and two, he literally has to just use his punch cooldown. Just use his punch cooldown. Like, it's kind of like the exact same scenario when I high nooned up here. If you were standing right here and mailed to that Doom in the same scenario that I high nooned, you probably would have killed him with that. He has to, like, basically, it's his punch that he has to just use, and we have to not shoot his punch to give him. Those are the two things that need to. Otherwise, punishing Doom with mail is really.
Okay.
And if they have Suzu, it becomes even harder, by the way. Think about
I
that,
was
right?
literally waiting for Suzu every time I was playing Mei. I was like, alright, did they use Suzu? Alright, go.
Yeah. They have immortality, which is not as good at dealing.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh
Yeah,
my. Okay. I trade, at least, but that's a big ult. Everyone's low HP, and we die.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting turn. So, part of us making the bad play of going this way, we got booped main, and which we gave up our control of this top left lane for like a second, which the Onrun used.
Ready.
Okay. Okay. Play happens. We get booped back main, which is not what we want at all.
No cover.
you used your ice block really early here, actually. Very early use. You used your wall, right? That makes sense. Pushing this. Get booped back. What was your thought process on this?
I expected the follow-up after the mail.
It
is very early. I just didn't want to get bursted down.
Your thought is you were walking up aggro and you were worried about getting punished?
Yes, correct.
What is the punish?
Them all having mobility. I saw, oh, no one's in there. This is bad. I don't have cover. And just like panic.
Them
ice
having
block.
mobility, it's not really so long.
Whoa.
Anyway, the punish comes definitely main from these two. I would be worried about mostly a Sojourn rail headshot. About the most I'd be worried about. That's the only thing that's gonna burst you super hard, because the Doomfist did have to like, even though your ultimate didn't kill the Doomfist, you did force more cooldowns out of it. Right? So the fight, even though it wasn't a perfect execution of the ult, the fight is not over by any means in this moment. And we still have the potential to win either way, which is why the Onrun, like, no one's died yet. So this ice block to me feels really early.
It was uncertainty. And uncertainty.
The chaos, right.
Yeah, literally the chaos. Like, I don't know what's going on. Give me a breathing moment to reassess what's happening.
So, yeah. So
It's a consistent issue, not just in this game, but other games when I'm on Tracer.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, this is why we're describing their punish, because in the chaotic scenarios, when you understand what you're actually getting punished with, it helps you make better decisions about what you can get away with.
Okay.
So like, whether or not you have to use ice block here is it's like a 10-step thought process into the fight. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it is something to. Maybe it was winnable. You don't use ice block there. I think if you had turned main, you would have been able to, like, maybe this is how you help conceptualize in the mid fight, right? In the mid fight, look where Brett is, right? As quickly as possible. And in this scenario, they're surprisingly behind. You're like you got booped surprisingly into cover, because the bot is in your face and this guy is here. You actually have time. The Doom punched away. You did clear the space. The Lucio's still over here. The Onrun is flanking top. There's a lot to keep track of here. Like, that was after your. Yeah, see.
Yeah, because I got booped. It's like, oh, I don't know.
Still have 223 HP.
Yep.
I would say that if Sojourn headshot you, Baptiste hit an entire try shot, the Lucio hit 1 or 2 shots, the Doomfist, let's just admit he's not hitting you punched away.
Yes.
Maybe you spontaneously die to like really focused fire. Like they would have to be deciding to all shoot you at the same time for you to die instantly, for you to
Yeah.
need to ice block.
It was a panic play.
I know, but
It
I'm
was-
trying to show you how you can conceptualize like when use the ice block, the mid fight.
Okay.
Because all 5 people suddenly shooting at you is very hard to happen. Especially because you're playing Mei, which means that target focusing you is not always the best play from them, because if they spend a lot of attention and time shooting you and then you just ice block immediately, they might be put in a situation where they're waiting and help might come and they might get forced out, and then you can turn on someone else. It snowballs, right? But if you use the ice block without them looking at you, then you're sort of stagnant in the fight. You're not dealing damage, and all the attention and focus can be turned towards other things. So in general, as Mei, you're not really the target priority fights, because it's dangerous for them to pressure and shoot you, because you can really slow them. You're in the middle of everyone, right? Like it's a really hard fight for them. So this is you're technically like more okay than you might. And then if you just walk to cover, maybe you get a little bit of healing, maybe you're completely fine, and then keeping your ice block be where like maybe the Doom does slam onto you. Maybe the Onron decides to push you, and then like they try to isolate you, and then you use ice block. Then you can waste all their cooldowns, you can heal it back. Or you wait for the Sojourn to sort of, if it's just the Sojourn headshotting you, you're still going to live with like 100 HP. Then you can ice block immediately after. Try to really squeeze like how much health you have. Honestly, that might be, I know I said a lot of words, but I think if we're going to take it at like a 1 sentence takeaway when you're playing Mei, ice block at a lower HP. Greed a little bit and see what you can get away with. Now, if you do notice, right, if you do notice the opponents are like, hey, we're shooting you every fight because we have a personal vendetta against you as a person. Okay, maybe you can ice block super early.
Yeah, I was traumatized from the Tracer 1v1.
Very fair. Very fair. Anyways, not to I just thought that cooldown usage was interesting. That's why I was talking about it.
Oh, I'm telling you now, it's a common thread throughout all these.
So obviously, when the ult comes from Onron, you having ice block means you completely nullify that ult. That's your response to this, right?
I was not ult tracking that Onron.
And no worries.
I have it.
And then we can snowball from there. Very interesting fight. I think that was very interesting. There was a lot of, like, we got the drop on the Doom, and then Riptide managed to take that fight back, so I applaud them. Good job, guys. Darwin is very aggressive. It's okay. Bad. Take too much damage. We use wall early. It's fine. We still have lead advantage. Oh my gosh, I think I die here. Oh my gosh, I'm trolling. I'm trolling. Okay.
Not my coach.
What'd I do? So why? Oh, right. I hate this spawn. I actually hate this spawn for this fight. I hate it so much because it's so hard. Sometimes it's really easy to forget to push this way. And I think that was my mistake. It's really dangerous on the spawn because it's really easy for the for Riptide here to like control this space if I push alone. If I can't push this alone very easily, ideally I would want to hold this to be able to stop them from pushing left side, because I don't really want to get stuck here on the fight bridge, because that's the same situation that we were putting them into. That's really hard for me to deal with it because I have low mobility as Cass, and so I just kind of like, oh man, this really sucks. But my thought process was to walk this way so that I wouldn't get shot top, I guess.
That's why I tried to wall early. I was trying to block their LOS.
LOS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I think if I'm going to do this, it literally I make this completely fine if I just go from here versus
Mhm.
I think I just didn't conceptualize this rotation being so bad. And it's quite bad actually. Quite bad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting. It's a bad thought or a bad really bad play. Dying first because we just give up the whole fight basically. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's all clean up here. Sojourn's scary.
Bro is just staring at the.
Bro's
He's
thinking about the
floating.
pot.
He's floating. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Oh, big spear into the wall. Okay, this is really good.
Raise his eyebrow.
Whose kitsune is this?
Uh. Curious.
This is very strange for me.
What part?
All of this is really strange. After we left this corner, a lot happened. I'm
Yeah.
like, a lot
Yeah.
happened. We beat early on the Doom.
Like an aggressive beat?
It's, I would say it's a bit unnecessary because
Mhm.
right now the only we have advantage. Yeah, so I think the idea is aggressive beat. The idea I think is aggressive beat, but I don't think it works very well. Because of their setup. And this is why scouting is so important, guys, to understanding ult usage. I know sometimes like if we're pushing a corner that's really shallow like this, it's hard for us to get a full read on the position, especially when we wall LOS. So this walled LOS here like probably made Emily think they might be on the other side of this wall, right?
I see.
That might be
Yeah.
what's going on mentally. It's that on top of, so I think like it's the fear of that on top of the Doom ult. So if the enemy is close behind the wall and the wall breaks, the Doom ult comes in and we didn't beat soon enough, then the Doomfist ult might be really terrifying as they're like, I think is like the. Oh, hello.
Goodbye, Grant. Grant left. 1-on-1 VOD review, let's go!
Okay.
VOD review partners.
Maybe I had to do something.
It's okay, the video will be up.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, we'll finish this. So the beat here, I think is so.
I like hyper focus on beats because I remember playing Lucio and you like roasting all my beats.
Yeah.
Beat 4!
It's easy to roast, but it's good too. I think there's good thought process here for sure.
Yeah.
And but I think the beat itself is a bit too preemptive. Considering like we walk back like this, if the Doom ults us, right? Or we can even like maybe walk this way, right? Then we still have suit.
We do double
I think-
double support as well.
Yeah. I think the support ult here from Grant is a little aggro
Mhm.
for us because like we're a very brawly comp. We typically really do that need to like we want to probably use that to like rush down a target specifically. I think we want to have a specific like target we're rushing down behind when we're using Kitsune, ideally. And the BAP is sitting up top here. And we just can't really punish the BAP. So the other idea is I think what Grant is going for here is to poke with the ult, basically. So just I think Grant is trying to like force the BAP out of main angle. But it's
Mhm.
because it's just Grant on the angle, it's kind of easy for him to walk to his side and sort of LOS that for Grant. And like shoot someone else or stand here and like shoot the guy or like heal the guy on point. So then okay, maybe we force that guy out. And then okay, shooting the Lucio. The Lucio actually has cover, looks like, from that doorway as well from high ground. Now, and like I said, we have speed boost, but that'll allow us to take space for sure. Like we're not gonna be stopped from taking space here. But the question is like, did we need those ults to take that space is my concern. I think that's what irks me about the fight, is I don't think we need the ults because other than the Doom ult that's sort of sitting above us, okay, beating here with the Doom ult does allow us to push. Does allow us to push through the corner, but still, you can kind of just wait for the Doom ult and then push. And so long as we're taking, like I said, this angle, sort of poke out point, and maybe we can like send Mei out ice block on point, and then maybe beat in the mid fight after like cooldowns have been used, if we like absolutely needed to. Yeah, it's a little nitpicky, but I think being able to give yourself a couple extra seconds to decide, do I want to use this beat, allows you to squeeze out. Like maybe the answer is no, we don't need beat. Maybe the answer is that. And the fact that like I think the main thing that I'm thinking about here is the Sojourn. Like this entire situation is because Sojourn is basically out of the fight during this rotation, while everything is happening. So like we could just take this, and the Sojourn is basically never able to stop us where she stands. And we don't need beat to walk this way. There's no threat yet. The on-run sitting here, she's not doing anything yet. She's just waiting. She's actually hiding, right? Because we're sort of putting so much. I think she backed up after and now she's hiding here. So we'll
From
see.
all the aggro.
Yeah. So we get the space, but realize that we're not maximizing the value that we're getting here.
What?
And now
Yeah.
now the window's out. The Doom managed to squeeze out some value on his ult, even with the beat, because Grant was on a side angle. He managed to squeeze out like 50 damage onto Grant. Not the biggest deal, but Grant is definitely like, he could randomly die to this battle. Maybe the on-run could. But he
Yeah.
should be okay. I think he still has Suzu. Yeah, he still has Suzu, so they can't really commit.
Killing.
Or maybe they do. Okay, Suzu is first. I'm
Yeah.
high nooning. My high noon was to I was looking at that engage. So the window comes out here, right? This is a very scary window. This window comes out.
Very interesting because I would expect the BAP to go high ground, but I guess there's a fear being dove there.
Here being dove. Wait, sorry. Say it again. The window on the high ground.
Yeah, like where the
Expect-
BAP is. That's what I expected. But to see it like with the rest of the team is super interesting.
Yeah, honestly, having it on Sojourn is a very devastating concept.
Yes, it is.
Especially with if she pops overclock. Honestly,
oh, which I think she might.
yeah, if she, I think it's good to pop here, like right as this happens.
It's high noon.
Emily takes.
This ends now.
Whoa. I tried to wall the window, but then I saw you. I heard you high noon, so I dropped it in case you're trying to get a kill.
See what else happened. There's a
So
lot that
many
happened in
layers.
this fight.
So many layers.
I'm. What? So okay, so I guess my initial idea on the window is not to push it. Because it's like a catch-22. It's like you're damned if you push it, damned if you don't. Because
Mhm.
let's say I push this way into the window. Let's say I push this way into the window. Now I have to worry about the Baptiste shooting me through it for like a little bit, and I have to worry about even this on run technically, but I know I think so. So I guess
It's tricky.
I decide to push this way. I decide to make this flank this way as Lucio is taking this fight. Sojourn ult comes in, slides away from my flank. But now I'm stuck.
Yeah. Everyone's away and you don't have any mobility.
Yeah.
And, like, you're deep in their backline too, away from everyone.
Grant ends up dying. He got his Suzu first early.
But the Doom.
Yeah, by the Doom. Basically only the Doom. So I
Mhm.
would think about that for a second. This is a very early snow.
Your Discord going crazy.
No, right? What's there? What? Yeah, this is very. So I think Grant is very. It's often the second threat in Overwatch that gets you, and there's this Baptiste being up here means he can sort of like. Grant is also firing back. Granted, like taking this, even like he could randomly kill Bap as well. Yeah, he almost gets that kill, but trading Suzu for Bap shift is fortunately not enough. Yeah, I think does Grant have teleport? Yeah. Teleports to the Orisa on point. There's still the Bap angle or high ground. I high nooned main and I shot immediately. So he was teleporting into the high noon angle. So my high noon managed to heal a little bit, but honestly I probably could have just held it just to like maintain more space and hold it. I think that was a slight mistake. Arwen actually ends up pushing the Doomfist with the Baptiste that is basically uncontested. So the Bap is managing to actually being the second threat for Orisa here. You have taken cover. You have taken cover.
I thought the Soj was like right behind the window.
Oh yeah, you didn't see that her attention got.
I did not see it. No, I did not.
Yeah.
So I thought overclock window equals no good for me, so cover time. Also, I think the
Yeah.
on-run was there trying to chase her out.
Honestly, I think because we're not dive characters, they have
Yeah.
more mobility than us. I honestly believe that everything that we're doing over here is bait.
Oh no.
I think this is all kind of bait. Like if we don't
Oh.
immediately take this high ground, which I think is okay. I think taking this high ground immediately is okay, but if we don't do that immediately, this BAP stays here forever. So
Yes.
if that's gonna happen, if the BAP is gonna stay here forever, like maybe we decide, okay, we know we can clear him, but we don't want to. I think the only other thing that we could do right now is like I walked point. We're on point. They windowed right here. Technically, the space that I was standing at right here was still.
What does that affect?
Oh, the bot is getting like stolen. Actually,
Yeah.
how? Is it because you backed up? Oh no, we're the one taking the bot. Right,
Oh.
right. We're the one
Oh.
taking the bot.
Whoopsies.
Yes. We're the ones taking the bot. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness.
changes things.
That does change things a lot actually, because why now it's even more of a question. Why would we ever push? Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is such a huge piece. That is such a huge piece. I told you this fight is chaotic. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We really had to break that down. We really had to break that down.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're stealing cart here, which
Is my
means
cover less of a throw now?
it's less of a throw. I'm still.
Okay.
I think So Lucio pushing this is definitely too much. I think if we wanted to hold this, what we they can still push this, which is a threat, right? It is a threat.
Yes.
But I think, first of all, do you have wall?
No, I used it initially to block off the window.
The window.
And then I heard you high nooning. I didn't know where you were high nooning, so I dropped it.
Oh, no, you well, so you walled that, right? Okay, that was your first wall.
I did. Yeah, that was my first wall, and I saw that I walled the window. I wall it at any point here.
Okay, you walled that.
Then I see you. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me drop that. And also our Lucio's in, and I didn't want to block them getting out. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm just explaining my process.
I think Emily shouldn't have pushed here. I think your wall is good if she doesn't.
Okay.
And like holding, I think you pushing is fine actually. 'Cause now you're pressuring the on-run who has support.
Yes. Yes.
That's
yes,
okay.
yes.
I think me also stay. I think if Lucio stays with me here, we can prevent on top of your wall any threat from through this angle, and we can take duels with the people on the high ground while we steal
Mhm.
cart. I have to be careful not to get stuck here. I guess that's it, especially for cart. But I think once we
Lucio.
take the high ground back, that's not going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, different things we could have done. So we used those double portals to take a bunch of space. Okay, fine. That was not ideal, but this fight broke down. And there was more mistakes that happened because obviously we didn't lose the fight immediately. I think Emily pushing this for sure was kind of throw, because once we made the point that we can capture objective, we have a very brawly comp. It's the fat
Blob.
fat blob on payload strategy, where we just sort of enforce the corner. We use ults to like take this corner and enforce it from the people who are over here, and then we, capture the objective and clear this space, making sure that we're sort of holding this angle down like this. I can sort of hold both because I can LOS high ground from the room, and I can, if anyone tries to walk up, I can flashbang and take the duel with my Lucio. I think it's harder for Sojourn to push than it is for Cass to hold this Lucio on both sides. And then the Baptiste is forced back. The on-run is in not a great position, and Grant can sort of play for his life while we're taking the objective. The Sojourn, even though she has rail here, we can always hold the corner. We can always wall the rail.
Mhm.
We hold our position. And then because we're standing on this side, we can sort of provide cover for Grant, who might be a little risky here. The on-run, right? But the first death didn't happen until now, actually. So I think we were very close to holding down all the different angles, being able to capture objective. It was the Lucio over pushing and Grant getting forced out by the Doomfist, and A, not evading entirely, and B, the Baptiste, us not helping.
Interesting.
There's probably some things we could have done to help. Like what was our tank cooldown usage? That's something we haven't thought about yet. So our tank here, like we said, could have taken top. Honestly, could have taken it alone, because you sort of walk up top here, you shoot the BAP, you can like fidget spinner this way, and that's a lot of pressure for him because you take cover here. He probably backs up. That happens. I think that's a free thing we could have done. That would have made this fight a lot easier if our tank that way. Eventually, it was the BAP on high ground that Grant died to, right? So it's Grant can deal with the Doomfist. He can deal with the Doomfist ult. He can deal with on-run on the flank. But can he deal with all of those and the Baptiste on high ground, right? So I think we could have definitely helped Grant out a little in terms of taking space. Just to bring it back to this initial sort of usage here, he was forced to use that Susan. And on top of that, like I said, maybe if the beat came out around when the window happened, right? If we still had beat in that scenario, we could have essentially beat the window. That would have helped us make rotations as well in the mid fight. There's a lot of different little things we could have that would. Otherwise, because I think like, and to bring it all back to how to take this fight, a lot of this is sort of hindsight is 2020. It takes us back to that very original thing I said at the start of this fight, which was we did not have vision of the map. We did not understand the setup of the opponent at all. Why we made those really early decisions that made the fight so much harder for us, right? The fight was not unwinnable from that position, but we probably could have had better opportunities, making better decisions earlier on. So like I said, scouting. Having some form of push clear this room. Grant was doing it. We probably needed someone else. Probably Lucio and maybe May or Cass. Lucio Cass could have done it. Yeah, I think this is a good spot for Lucio Cass to push. And then Kiriko can sort of stay main rest. Or if you really wanted, you could take the Lucio Orisa up top to clear the map. That works too, actually. And maybe you go like make Kiri here. Yeah, make Kiri actually. I think I like make Kiri because you have the option to like scout this way just to see what's up, and then you can drop this way if you need and like hold this corner. I think you as May are really good. Hold corners. I think that probably would have been a better situation.
Okay, then running down main, like take that room with
Yeah.
Kiri.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so because
Okay,
then you
okay.
can even help with this as well.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense.
I know it's a really multifaceted like playing that out, but so okay, that was our problem with scouting. So from this room, the scouting that's valuable is being like you could just peek this for a second. Maybe you go for one pot shot with like icicle. Like okay,
Okay.
that's where the Sojourn is. That's good to know. And then we can sort of peek this way and be like, okay, Lucio on point, Baptiste here. Then it's really easy for us to be like, okay, we know where their setup is. We know where their Sojourn is. Can the Sojourn stop us from rotating here? Okay, let's rotate the back. It's these macro decisions that you can make these decisions that make fights win themselves when you make good decisions. And good decisions happen off of good scouting. Okay. Oh, very chaotic fight. And honestly, I think we'll probably stop the VOD from there.
I agree with that.
I think that was a lot. I've never done this for like a quote unquote audience other than the people who are just here. I tried to be a little bit useful towards both sides. There's a lot of fights that have been done better for both of us. And I think either way, it doesn't really necessarily fully matter if it was you. Like if it was us making it sort of lets you guys see what was doing well against us as well, right? Not only are you looking at your mistakes, but you're seeing how we could have reacted to your play. And so that gives you more flexibility to maybe do scouting, counter rotations. There's counterplay you can do to our counterplay. But anyways, I hope that was useful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. Watching all the way this far, that's great.